Here's a how-to guide in creating indicators, combining indicators, and using them on an expert advisor. Let's begin. To begin, open up MetaTrader and open up MetaQuotes or this F4, this little button right here. You get a window like this. Now, the first thing you need to do is create an indicator. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Create an indicator, hit next, type in your name. I already did that before. Once you do that, you can name it anything you want to. I named mine test 1. So in test 1, guys, in this example, the first part doesn't matter. Up here doesn't matter. What we need to do is create our indicator setting. And basically, we're going to be combining the combining the MACD and the RSI. I'm going to show you guys a little bit more detail on that, okay? So just for an example, we're going to be showing arrows once the MACD or the once the MACD goes positive and when the RSI hits over 70. Now, you guys can modify this any way you want to with different indicators. This is just a very beginner tool where you guys can build upon, okay? So make sure that these two things are the same. Are your property indicators are 2. We're only going to be using 1 for the example, but we can use 2 later or modify it if you guys want me to. Just let me know. We can go in more detail. When it comes to your on it, make sure that these buffers are the same. We're going to be showing an arrow once they have that position. So once the RSI hits above 70 and the MACD goes positive, we're going to have those arrows go above. And if we want to go for negative, we can do the same thing. I already built it in there. So if it goes negative, you just flip it around and say buffer 2. Now, when you see this on the on tick calculator, we need all these rates. So when we go back in time to the other candles, we can bring them up in mass. So we have the indication, okay? The int I and limit. So this is how we go back for the rates, okay? Just make sure that this is all the same. And here's the part that you guys got to pay attention to, okay? Now, when it comes to this, make sure your you're making a for loop. And your for loop is going to be I equals 0, okay? And then I is less than the limit, and then I plus plus. So this is the part that you guys got to make sure you understand, okay? We're going to be combining the indicators. Now, here you can make it whatever indicators you want. You can use the MACD, you can use the RSI, you can use a rune, you can use CMF, any indicator that you want for here, just put that in there as a double, okay? Or as a double, whatever it is an I custom, whatever. I'm using 2 standard indicators. Now, the last part is the part that matters. That's the I. So when it comes to the shift, on the calendar, on the charts, make it I. So when it goes from I equals 0, it has to be less than the limit and I plus plus. So when it runs the first time, it runs on the current candle. So this equals 0, 0. It's going to pull the MACD. Oh, it's going to pull the MACD at that current point. So if there's none on there, there's not going to be an arrow that points above it, okay? But if we go back like 15 or 20 candles and the RSI is above 70 and the MACD is above 0, then we're going to be putting a B1 indication on there, like boom, saying, hey, we're going to be showing up on the chart. It's going to be 2 indications on there. If it goes negative, you can just say, if the RSI is less than 30 and the MACD is negative, we can do B2 brackets I, equals the close price, or whatever you want, minus 0.0.1. We're going to be running this on pound, say euro pound, okay? So once you get that there, and make sure your return rates are total, okay? Rates underscore total. So once you have this here, it's going to run the indication on there. Now, we're going to put this into an expert advisor. So hit compile, so errors. We're going to go to here, I custom, okay? Create a new expert advisor, name it whatever you want. I called it I custom because that's basically what we're using here. And once you guys do that, delete all that stuff we don't need. We just need the on tick. So once you have the void on tick, this is what we're going to be doing. And I'm going to show you guys in a video, okay? I'm sorry, on the strategy tester. So when you have void on tick, we're using double test. You can name whatever you want to. Double. It goes I custom null, and we're using test 001, the same name I created for the indicator, okay? Now, we're going to be you guys can change the indication from either 1 or a 2, whatever you want. Just change this to a 1 or a 0. It's whatever you want, okay? If you guys want the indication for 1, just hit here, and then you can hit like comment. So if it's on the current candle, it will pop up on there if you want that. But basically, it's either a 0 or going to be a 1, okay? And if it's 0, it should be 0 since we're using the default one, the buffer 0. So we have the double for the RSI. So we're just using this for the video purposes for here. So once we enter a trade in the future, it'll bring it up. So once the RSI is above 70, the MACD is above 0, orders total is equals 0, then we'll enter a trade, okay? And we're using this, I think, Euro Pound for this. So we're going to be entering a trade. So what this iCustom portion right here, basically it goes in the past to show all the portions, all the candles that were above 70 on the RSI, and the MACD is a greater than 0. Remember, you can change this to whatever you want. Change the indicators to the MACD, RSI, envelopes, Bollinger Bands. You can use this to create the indicator that pops up to give you an indication of an arrow. If you don't like the arrow, you can change it to GA, to stripe and draw. You can do multiple other things, histogram, filing, lines. There's a lot of things you can put in there that also change the style, okay? So you have a lot of flexibility with this very simple code. I don't want to make it too complex for you guys, so I don't get, basically hit up with 1,000 questions. So remember, this can be for the up positive indication, negative indication if you like for the RSI and the MACD. Or you can change this and change this to a different style. All you gotta do is type in STYLE underscore, and it'll be something else, okay? Go back. It's time to go back. Now the 4 is basically how big the arrow is. Or basically you can go through and change this. You can change it to 3 or 2, and then you guys can change your index type of arrow. So there's a lot of things you can change with this little bit of code, and it's not complex or hard. Here's your array for your that stores the information that basically sends it back when they get a positive indication right here. See your B1, and if you want it to be negative, you hit the RSI and just type in like this. And that's if you want to. You don't have to do it, okay? I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. If the RSI is is less than 30 and your MACD is less than 0, we will do B2 equals this right here. See? And you can make it above the open. You can make it a part of the high. You can change it. Just say low. And these 2 values are right here by the on calculate, okay? So you guys can have that in there to change where you put the position in. Or if you want to change it and add more to this, like, hey, I want a property change, just type in extern, okay? And type in, I don't know, let's see. You want it to be, you want to change the distance of the arrows, okay? You have to create like a pip calculator in there, but if you just do it here and be like double, just an example, okay? Not make it too hard. Double, we'll call it arrow distance, okay? And now remember, you got to update this. If you put this in there, you got to update it on the expert advisor, okay? Just understand that. And call it arrow distance, and then hit this right here, and just put in, I don't know, 50, for example, 50 points. You're gonna have to calculate that and make sure you put it as a 0.5. Now, I've talked about that in there, but that's not the purpose of the video. Just to show you guys have a lot of room to add modification, okay? So once you guys do that and have this in here, right? We hit compile, no errors, cool. We go to iCustom. So once there is a red candle or goes negative, this goes RSI goes under 30, or the MACD goes negative, we'll put a arrow on the opposite direction. I'm gonna show you guys in a bit. And we have our buy order. I don't know what buy order for. It's kind of weird. Maybe a typo. But when we put that in there, we have our order, we have our stop loss, we have our take profit. It's not here to make money, it's to show you guys how to put the indication in there. So once we get that done, we'll go back to MetaTrader. We'll go to iCustom. We'll hit start. Get rid of this. And look, you'll see in a bit that it did open a trade. We have a massive stop loss. That's fine. Just remember, it's not here to make money or not. It's to show you how to use it. You see your stop loss. You should see your take profit. We hit stop, and you'll see our MACDs right here, our RSIs right here. And if we zoom in a little bit and we change the color a little bit, make it a little bit easier for our eyes. And here's on the 5 minute, okay? You can change whatever you want to it when it comes to time frame. If you see, look, under 30 MACD negative, under 30 positive RSI, positive right here. It goes all the way back. And if we want a current trade, it's right here. So this is how you can combine different indicators, okay? On here on the MACD, for example, you can combine different indicators, have it as its own indicator. So you can combine the RSI and the MACD, okay? And then you can do up here, you can add modifications to change the distance of the arrows, change the color of the arrows right here. You tap in CLR red. You can also make this an enum, so you can actually change the enum right here or change it up down here. There's a bunch of ways you can change the color of them. If you need a detailed video on how to create indicators, let me know. I can create a whole video for it, helping you guys out or making this one more specific. But here's an easy example on how to create where the distance is. And you look at it, it's 0.001. So we go through off the high. You can see, basically, see, 0.001, basically like 100 pips, okay? So that's a very easy example how to combine the MACD and the RSI. Remember, once again, it can be changed and manipulated to more or less, okay? The last thing about this, when it comes to the code, is when you're combining all these, when you're combining iCustom, you can add extra indicators, okay? You don't have to just use these two. You can add, like if we go through here and add double, I would say bands, okay? We're going to add Bollinger Bands, I bands, and we're going to hit null, time frame 0, period, to say, I don't know, 25. Deviation, say 2.0. Int on the bands, shift 0. Apply price, we can do the close price, so just hit 0. Int mode, we want the top, and shift is 0. Oh, my bad. So you can do this. If the bands, and you can also, if you want to, this is adding extra stuff, but to show you how you can combine different indicators, you can also put the I bands over here. And if the bands exceed the ask price or whatever perceived price, the close price, high price, you can put that in there as a variable, okay? And you'll just put I bands. And when it comes to the shift I, you'll just change that 0 to an I. Or if you want it for the, and that's for the past, if you want it for the current price also, you can do this right here. I bands and to say say, and the ask must be less than bands. Okay, just an example of how you can combine multiple indicators, create it on here with indicators, and create a trading robot or trading strategy just like this. So remember, once again, guys, if you have any questions or comments, let me know. Join the Telegram group or the Discord, and if you have any questions in there, just ask me. I'll make a video about the topic, covering it. I'll try to make it as simple and as easy as possible, so for anyone to understand. There are things that I remove to make it less complex, and if they come up as a problem, I'll create a video for that. Okay, but thank you guys for making it to the end of the video. Have a wonderful day.